I think I've just done it. I made the most amazing fondant potatoes in the world. The fondant potatoes are the favorite potato dish of Michelin Star Chefs. They are actually easy to make and they're delicious and they're always elegant. Now fondant potatoes or pomme fondant are great for pre-cooking and they don't suffer in quality when you reheat them. But unfortunately there are so many wrong and overcomplicated versions out there. So I will stick with the version I learned when I worked at the 3 Michelin star restaurant, the Waterside Inn. Then I saw the same thing at Raymond Blanc, and then when I worked for Pierre Koffman, and then eventually when I was an executive head chef for Pierre White. Because my thinking is if those chefs cook it like that, then it must be the best method. Don't you agree? So it wasn't just my aim to show you this classic potato dish. I actually wanted to push the boundaries and try the impossible, to cook an upgraded potato fondant version. Now, was that challenging? Was it actually possible? Did I succeed? Well, I guess we'll find out when we taste it. But for that, I needed a comparison. So I recreated the version I cooked by those mentioned Michelin Star Chefs. So I got some potatoes, the right ones, of course. Now, potatoes come as firm-fleshed or starchy, or somewhere in between. Now, what do you think could work for this dish? Now, the firm-fleshed potatoes have a starch that fuses, and it's non-absorbent during cooking. Starchy potatoes, on the other hand, have a non-fusing starch. Their starch expands and it becomes very absorbent and makes potatoes fall apart during cooking. Now, which one do you think those Michelin Star Chefs use? Well, I think you guessed it right. Firm-fleshed, as they keep their shape and they don't absorb the cooking fat as easy and they don't fall apart during cooking. So I know you're probably gonna wonder which variety. Well, as you know, there's loads of different potatoes out there, but if you're not sure, you can do a little chef trick. You cut the potato in half, you rub it for 30 seconds like so. If it disconnects easily, like that, it's a starchy potato. If it sticks, like it's almost glued on, then you know it's a firm-fleshed potato. It's that easy. So I started with peeling my potatoes, but I did not cut them out with a cutter like so many chefs do, as I think it's a waste of potatoes, and those cookie cutter rings are not made for such a sturdy potato. They constantly bend or break. So I want to choose well-shaped potatoes and trim the sides and the edges with my potato peeler till they all look like really pretty and even. It's a bit like cosmetic potato surgery. Then I placed them serving side down into a pan. I then covered them with water or chicken stock sort of halfway up. I generally like to use water as it cooks away anyway. It's up to you. Then I added some fat like butter, or you can use duck fat, you could use bone marrow fat. Oil, for whatever reason, doesn't work that well. And of course, I was rather generous with my fat because I knew I had firm-fleshed potatoes and I remembered they're not so absorbent. And the extra fat is actually essential to fry them golden brown at the end. But you see that in a minute. Then I added some salt, some garlic, in the skin of course, so it also turns into fondant or garlic confit like chefs like to call it. I really like to serve that on top of my potatoes for extra texture and flavor. And to keep it healthy and flavorsome, I added some rosemary, but thyme works pretty well too. Then lid on. I then brought it to a boil on a high heat for approximately 20 to 25 minutes or longer if your potatoes are really thick. You could of course make them really thin as well, and then it would go much quicker. So when that was done, I removed the lid and I checked my potatoes for doneness. When I noticed the same resistance all the way through, I boiled down the leftover of the liquid and then I started the frying process. Now, I did the whole process on a really high heat, and as it started to fry, I could see on the bottom of the pot everything turned really golden brown and then dark brown, and then it almost came close to burning. And that's when I knew that my potatoes are ready, as I knew the color underneath the potatoes will always be just approximately 50% of what it is in the pan. This is sort of always a moment of great tensions, as most cooks or chefs stop too early and then the potatoes never get that amazing good looking color. But I know what you're thinking. how will I ever get that pan clean? Well, it's really simple. I soak the pan in water for half an hour or so, and then I just let it stand, and you can almost wipe it out. It's really easy. When the potatoes were ready, I needed to be patient, as the worst thing I could do is try to remove them straight away, because the surface is stressed and they're dried out, and it could be a bit rubbery. They would also stick, and if I tried to take them out, all my efforts would be wasted. So I did nothing. I just let them stand for 10 to 15 or 20 minutes. I always find it's a bit like resting meat. You know, the moisture from inside the potato will slowly go back into the surface, and then at the same time the dried out potatoes I found will actually start to absorb a little bit of the fat, and through that they become really waxy, really shiny, just so beautifully amazing, like you can see. Wow, I was actually really happy with that. But then, of course, it came to my mind, how could I possibly upgrade them? And that got me thinking about mushrooms like truffle or earthy morels. I mean, you probably agree that potatoes also go really nice with gravy. My challenge was, how do I bring it all together into a dish and just not turn it into sort of a dish I've seen 100 times before? How could I create an elegant fondant potato surprise? So I started with the gravy. I got some veal stock, some chicken stock in the pan. For extra flavor, I added some morels and some truffles. And yeah, when the smells came up, I thought, I'm getting somewhere here. When the stock was reduced enough, I removed and diced the morels. The truffle I set aside. But I thought the sauce is a bit too runny, you know, so I thickened it and rounded it up with some butter. But then how could I go from here? Well, how do I put it all together? So I thought, what if I fill that gravy into the potato and create something like a chocolate fondant, just with a savory potato version? So I started with cutting off the top of my potatoes, and then I got a cookie cutter and I cut the inside 2/3 down. Next, I gently scooped out the center, and some of that potato stuff I mushed up and used it to thicken my sauce, which was still a bit too runny. The rest I ate, and let me tell you, it was pretty delicious. And then I filled the morel gravy into the potato and topped it with the lid. Then I placed it into an 150 degrees or 300 degrees Fahrenheit hot oven for approximately 15 minutes to warm it all through. And I topped it with fresh rosemary, and I thought that could work pretty well for my potato fondant upgrade. And I thought it was a great way to add the sauce to a dish without my guests seeing the gravy. So I think it's the perfect fondant potato surprise. And I think it's time to taste the whole thing. Who would be better to serve it than to my wife, as she is always brutally honest when it comes to my cooking and everything else. Okay, so fondant potatoes, the ones I always cook.
Yes.
I tried to sort of upgrade that.
Okay.
So you obviously know what that one is like, so just have a taste. And the second version, I'll try to do something better.
So I've got two versions here. They look the same to me. So which one am I trying first?
First to start with this one. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have to eat this bit, do I? I can take that off. We have the sprig of rosemary, put it on the side.
I just like to do this thing.
Yes, it looks so pretty.
Stuff on the plate which you can't eat anymore.
Right,
when I used to be a chef, we wouldn't put anything on the plate that you couldn't eat, because I remember once at Marco's, the restaurant manager told me to have a look out in the kitchen, in the dining room, and there was this Japanese customer, and we had the oysters and we plated them on seaweed, you know, and rock salt. And this Japanese customer tried to chew that seaweed.
Oh dear.
But these days you put a lot of stuff on it that you can't eat. The old days you wouldn't put anything on the plate that you can't eat. So anyway, that's the end of the rosemary then. Let's go, let's taste it.
I'll cut it right down the middle, because I don't think I'm going to get through the truffle. A little bit of potato, a little bit of garlic. I'm drooling already. Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep. Love it.
As always.
Yep. Beautiful touch with the black truffle and the garlic. No complaints there. Next, looks like it's got a hat on it, this one.
Okay.
That's a bit of a giveaway.
I'm supposed to see all the things.
Sorry. All right, so here we go. Ooh, we have something on the inside here. That's interesting. How'd you get? Oh, okay, you got that in there because that's a little hat.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
So my
beef.
idea.
It's got lumps in it.
It's morels, morels mushroom.
Ooh.
See, my idea
So it's not boring old beef. It's actual mushrooms.
My idea was chocolate fondant, just with potato.
Very nice.
Yeah, no.
I've gone quiet now because I'm like looking forward to this. Because I know having morels or mushrooms in a meal, they're quite expensive, aren't they?
Nothing's too expensive for you.
Oh my gosh.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's very nice. Very nice. How can I describe it? The gravy, I mean, your gravy is amazing. I know I'm saying it melts, but it does. It like literally just goes to every part of your mouth and it just tastes really beautiful. I'll definitely go back for seconds on that one. And a touch of garlic, you almost don't need it, but hey, it's just a touch. But this flavour that you put on the inside, I like that very much.
There we go.
Yes. Hang on, I need to have one more bite, sorry. Excellent idea. I like that.
Yeah.
You've done well. Well done.
So check out my video on carbonara. Let's sort of try to do something similar there. Yeah, let's find out if I succeeded.
Okay, but that's a go. Definitely try that one, guys. I hope it's simple for them.
Yeah, it is simple.
Yeah.
It's simple.
There you go.
All
Give it a go.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, see you next time. That's very yummy. I'm having breakfast, lunch and dinner all at once. So I'm not a big potato lover, really.
Oh, bullshit.
Oh, that is true. I am actually. I do like your roast potatoes. I'll just finish that bit. Did you want some?
What?
Did you want some?
So you don't like potatoes?
Nah, I do and I don't. Yours I do, but generally I don't.